Okay. Good morning, everyone. Before I take your questions, I want to briefly discuss my latest efforts to reform Baltimore City's water billing system. As many of you know, a key goal of my administration is to grow Baltimore City by 10,000 families over the next decade. In order to grow a city, we have to both attract new residents, but most importantly, we have to give those residents who are already here more reasons to stay. The problems with Baltimore City's water meter and billing system have been well documented, and fixing the system has been a key goal of my administration since taking office. Today, we have taken another significant step in the right direction, moving forward with the type of system that Baltimore City residents deserve. The Board of Estimates has approved an $8.4 million contract for a new customer information system that will significantly improve service for Baltimore City residents. The new system, known as UMAX, will enable the city to move away from the existing minimum billing model toward a system that charges based on actual consumption. As you know, this has been something that residents have complained about for years. The notion of a minimum bill has been the bane of many's existence. So we will be able to continue reducing the number of estimated water bills, another thing that has been a challenge. Historically, it has helped to contribute to many residents receiving higher bills than they should have, and for me, it's an economic issue because too many families cannot afford the sticker shock that comes with an unreliable or inaccurate water bill. I understand the frustration of residents that they've had over the years with the water billing system, and today this is another step that my administration is taking towards providing better service to our residents, and that's what I am about, trying to find ways to create better service. We know that this issue has existed for years, and it's a complex issue. But I remain committed to working every day to provide better customer service for the residents of Baltimore. Earlier this year, we rolled out the Baltimore water meter upgrade program. With Baltimore, nearly 10,000 city water customers have already had their old water meters replaced, and with state-of-the-art automated meters that are more efficient, more reliable, as well as more accurate. These reforms will continue all across Baltimore City over the next 2 years, and across the board, we are investing in a system that offers greater trust in the water delivery and billing process. Thank you very much. And with that, I would like to bring up DPW Director Rudy Chow for a few words. Rudy?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Good morning, everyone. Today is a very exciting day, as the mayor has indicated. We have rolled out the AMI AMR a few months back, and now today it completes what I call the two of the most signature projects that DPW is taking on in recent years. That is the rollout of the billing system to replace our antiquated legacy system. We're very excited about both these projects. And we're going to be very busy in the next few years, and to complete both these for the betterment and better service to our citizens, not only in the city but to Baltimore County as well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Rudy. And I'd like to bring up from Itinerus North America, President John Bedingfield. John?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'm also excited to be here today to be a part of this solution for the residents and citizens of Baltimore. A 35-year-old legacy CIS billing platform is something that in today's world is difficult to serve your customers the way they need to be served. And so with our product UMAX, it's an important step for the city in combination with the metering project to deliver accurate bills, to deliver additional information and services to the citizens of Baltimore. So we're excited to be a part of this solution.
So how does it work? I mean, what's the difference between just so we
I'm sorry?
tell people, how does your system work and how will it differ, technologically, just so people can, your billing system?
How does our billing system work?
Yeah. Why is it different?
Well, first of all, it's based on a Microsoft technology stack, so it is it's not technology proof, but when you think about legacy systems that were built 35 years ago, those systems are not designed with the controls and the audits in place that are necessary in today's world. When you bring in a metering system that that delivers meter readings on a monthly basis, on a regular basis. You still need to perform validations, you need to perform edits and provide the amount or the level of control that's necessary to prevent these enormous bills that we've seen in the past that customers are receiving, the erroneous bills. So the short answer is it replaces a legacy technology that just isn't flexible enough to meet the demands of today's customers.
And so the bills you had were the minimum bills, so those would no longer be minimum bills. So in other words, or I don't know, Mr. Chavez, actually, let's see.
Sure.
The fact that you just get a minimum, that's going to be eliminated. Is that what the mayor was saying? All right.
We will be converting the way we currently bill folks in terms of minimum billing, and convert it to something with a service fee plus actual consumption.
So some people may have a higher bill.
Some people may end up with higher bill based on consumption. Again, this puts a better control in the hands of the consumer who are, our citizens. As folks want to conserve water, now they have better control. The way we previously bill is, for example, a regular residential 5/8-inch meter, minimum billing is 10 units. So whether you use less or 10 or less, you're going to be billed 10. So there's really no notion of conservation, but by us getting away from the minimum billing, we can beginning to promote conservation going
So
forward.
If you use less than 10, you'll be billed for less than that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Now, Mr. Chow, how is just so I'm clear, the current system that's about to be phased out has been online for 35 years?
Yes.
Okay.
This is a
In
software
your,
change or is
in
it
your
software
estimate,
hardware?
will that cause the city to lose more revenue, or is it gonna balance itself out?
There's going to be a revenue neutral switch.
Is this just a software change, a billing change on that end, or is there a hardware component too? Just can you walk me through this?
It is more on the software side of it. Currently, the reads comes in, and for example, our current billings, when the read comes in, if you use less than 10, the system would default to 10 unit, and then that you get billed accordingly. But going forward with the new system that we're going to be putting in, is that there is account maintenance fee, what I call it, based on meter size, and then on top of that will be your actual consumption will be added to it. So the reads comes in, it gets calculated, the bills get generated then.
Just so we go through the basics of this, currently, with this 35-year-old system, the meter has to get read at some point, am I correct?
That's correct.
And if it doesn't get read, then it's an estimated bill,
That's correct.
based on,
Based on past consumptions.
okay, so that's an actual person that goes out and reads the meter.
Well, currently, that's an actual person who gets out there, pop the lid, and
Right.
take the read. But going forward with our AMI, AMR, inside the city, those reads will be transmitted electronically through wireless system, will be captured in our billing center, and the bills get generated from that.
From that whole, so you don't need the meter reader.
We don't need the meter readers, but we still need to maintain that technology out there. So
Right.
just the job function would be different than what it is today.
Okay.
And the rollout of those meters that can deliver information wirelessly is ongoing, or is that taking place?
As the mayor indicated, we have 10,000 meter installed, 5,000 in the city, 5,000 in the county. We're going through what we call a proof of concept stage. Once that is completed, our plan is to go full rollout, perhaps first of the year.
What's that baseline service charge going to be?
We don't know until we do the analysis.
So it will differ from household to household,
Will be differ from meter size to meter size.
and meter size is based on how large a household would be.
Correct.
Okay.
Is there a target date at this point for when everyone will have the new meters and the new billing system in place?
We are targeting April 2016 for the city and April 2017 to complete the county rollout.
Now, when you mentioned the county, are you talking about the other jurisdictions that the city services for water?
No, just Baltimore County.
Okay.
Is this strictly for residential, or are there changes to the way that businesses will see their water bills?
Everybody's,
I'd imagine this could have a bigger effect on businesses, or do you tend to read business meters more often?
well, read them no different than the way we read our residential on a monthly basis. Some of them get billed monthly rather than quarterly, but the read is the same. But
Okay.
going forward, the reads will be captured electronically.
Sure, in the past, I just meant businesses tend to use a lot of water,
Yeah.
depending on the industry, so
Sure,
if
yeah.
you're estimating, I could see some major
Yeah.
margin for error. there.
Right. We have moved away from estimation, so.
Right.
Any additional questions? Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Rudy. Thank you, John. All right, so before we move on to general questions, would like to take a second just to read one prepared statement on the topic that I'm sure you're going to ask me about, just so everyone is clear on where I stand. I am 100% in support of police body cameras. And residents should know that no matter what happens during the city council process, the city is going to have body cameras. My work group is doing the final work necessary to identify funds, to pay for the program, and to help establish the proper methods to address privacy issues as well as the storage of data. And most importantly, they're working to make sure that we have a program that without question is legal. Because it would be foolish to haphazardly pass a program into law and then have questions down the road about whether or not the program is valid. This is not about scoring political points or trying to figure out who gets credit first. If I were concerned about who gets credit first, then my approach would be to quickly rush through an incomplete bill that doesn't take into account all of the pieces of the puzzle necessary to make the body camera program a success. I would rather be thoughtful and right than fast and wrong. The worst thing we can do to rebuild the trust in the community is to roll out a program that hasn't been thought through. And unfortunately, we are dangerously close to doing that now. I take this issue very seriously, which is why I've taken several months to study it and to set up a process that will bring meaningful change for Baltimore City residents. My consistent desire is to work together to get this done. I've reached out to the council president's office, and I will continue to do so. The best approach moving forward would be to have a legislative process that works in conjunction with my administration's work group so that together we can put forward a comprehensive proposal over the next several weeks. But the bottom line is this: the council has to be willing to come to the table and pass a bill that's workable and unquestionably legal. I'm confident that we can get this done, and I'm willing to work to get us there. Thank you.
So if the council passes a bill, what will you do with it? Because you have the.
If the council passes a bill that's not legal, that's not thoughtful, that's not comprehensive, I'm not going to sign it.
Are you
That
not
being said, you should understand, and I'll say it again, we're moving forward with body cameras. My commitment is to get it right. I have absolutely no interest in entertaining incomplete legislation, legislation that is not thoughtful and that does not address the full issue. I have absolutely no interest in it.
You say you're not going to sign the bill. Does that mean you're going to let it come to law, or are you just going to outright veto it?
I will veto a law that doesn't do what needs to be done to provide body cameras in the right way to Baltimore City's residents.
The ABLE report issued, ABLE Foundation issued a report saying, taking issue with the city's threshold for pursuing tax liens on people who haven't paid their property taxes, and recommended raising that threshold, or similar to other cities like New York. What's your position on that? Do you think
I am looking forward to taking a look at the ABLE report. Under my administration, we've already made reforms to the tax sale process as it relates to water bills, and I remain committed to getting it right. You know, I think that we have. I appreciate the ABLE Foundation's interest and their investment of time and talent into looking at this issue. I'm looking forward to taking a look at the report and working through any further reforms that need to be made.
Well, do you think $250 just on face value is too low? threshold for people. Obviously, the Able report said it was, contributing to people being evicted from their homes for a very little amount of money.
And I think what you're asking me for is a knee-jerk reaction, and I think it deserves a thoughtful consideration, not just of what the report said, but why was that threshold established? If it was established to be a low enough number, so a low-income person would be able to meet that requirement before it started to balloon, then I have to take a look at that as well. My commitment is to take a look at the report, to evaluate why those thresholds were placed, and to make sure that we get it right. I have not shied away from making reforms to the process before, and I won't do it again. That is not in my interest or in my track record to do so. I am committed to making whatever improvements need to be made, that we are affecting both goals, which is to make sure that people understand that paying your water bill or your tax, your property tax, is not optional, as well as making sure that we're being just to our to people who are economically vulnerable.
Back to the topic from last night, but only as a side issue to that. The council, particularly members of the Public Safety Committee, were extremely critical of the solicitor's report. They were critical of the chief solicitor, Elena DiPietro, and they say that this is exactly why they want their own lawyer, hence question H on the ballot. They feel that the solicitor's office is not giving unbiased opinions because you appointed those lawyers.
I think that historically there has been tension between the city solicitor's office and the city council. There is nothing new, I've experienced it myself when I was on the city council. I've worked with the city council president to get additional counsel in his in his council staff, and I understand their need to have some level of independence.
So that means you understand why they want their lawyer, or how do
I've
you feel
already,
about the issue on?
You're talking about two different things. If you're talking about the charter amendment, I'm not saying that I'm in full support. If you're talking about the issue of making sure that they have a level of independence, I'm not in support. If you're talking about whether or not they have some level of independence in council, I've already done that. I've already put that in the budget. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago.
So you're not in support of the charter amendment?
So we're clear. As far as them having some level of independent counsel, I have supported it. I asked for it when I was on the city council, and when I became mayor, I put it in their budget. I am not in favor of the charter amendment. Two separate issues, two separate questions. So the issue of the charter amendment is about independent counsel. I've already been vocally in favor of it, and I put it in the budget. That is different from the charter amendment. I do not believe it requires a charter amendment.
Okay.
Well, Mayor, I asked the council president this morning, does the charter allow a legislative body to require an agency to equip itself in a certain fashion? Because that's what this is really about, am I correct?
This is, it's about a lot of things. I don't, I don't know of I'll just say this, I don't know of another jurisdiction that has taken a legislative approach to body cams.
Real quick on another topic, the board of estimates approved some money for circulator review today. Where do you stand on that?
I love the circulator.
The idea of expanding it and or charging for its services.
So I've never brought up the issue of charging. That was something that the council president has brought up multiple times. I think a review of I believe in constant review of city operations, and I support a review of the circulator. I think it's important for many reasons that we make sure that this circulator system remains free. But if it's to remain free, it doesn't mean that it should that it should be fiscally unsound. We need to make sure that we have a circulator system that we continue to work to improve, to make it more effective as well as efficient, because I think the longevity of the program, I think, depends on us getting it right. And I think it has to work within its budget.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.